first of all, I would want to go back to that Canadian context, that there are many amazing people in Canadian history, you know, that are recent in the development and in the past who are unnamed. I would certainly say that my Uncle Rocky and my Aunt Joan and my Aunt Lynn and my Uncle Rod, Luella, Janice, you know, I can name them, my Aunt Isilda, you know, their names, some of their names may not be in the history book. Like, you know, my great-grandfather, Jeremiah Jones, Martha Jones, we could just keep going, because Canadians have not done well by their heroes and heroes. We have to do better. So if you ask if that's my way of continuing, and that's a very interesting question, you know, my Aunt Elaine, on my mom's side, was a very strong influence, and yet her name would be in the margins of things. She was somebody who helped a lot of people who did great things. She was a very smart woman, and so continuing, I never ever thought of what I was doing as continuing anything. I just heard the call of God to make a difference, and I probably couldn't help it because my mom prayed for me, my mom and dad, really before I was born, and kind of just think that the path that I took was shaped by God, shaped by family history. But I also know that the story goes that when I was 5, my family was watching TV with company, and I got up and turned off the TV in disgust. That's very rude. You don't do that in a black household, especially, right? And you have company, and I said, oh, they think they're the only ones in the world. My parents could have, you know, given me licks or grounded me or something, but they looked and said, Lord, what do we have here? Like, what is this child? And then they continued to allow that child to develop. They never crushed that spirit in me. And it was a God-given thing. And I determined early in my age, I was going to move from Oakville to Toronto. I knew that's where I should live. I was going to make a difference. I wasn't going to try to be famous or anything like that. I was going to make a difference in the community for young people, because I knew what I grew up in. I was in Oakville. In Oakville, I was the only Black person in my whole school until my sister came. And then it was 2 of us until my brother came. And then slowly things started to change. And my cousin was on the other side of town, you know. My cousin Arlene, who's a great actress, a great talent. You know, she's doing great things. Again, Canadian life is, if we were in the States, you know, it would be different. We've chose to live out our life and calling in this country, and done what we've been meant to do in this country, not having to leave. So she's in Diggstown right now. She plays the mom, if I'm allowed to say that. And they got picked up by BET. I know that. So really such great singer. I've always, you know, admired her, and I have others, you know, cousins who have become principals. And so there's something on both sides of the family that we are compelled to contribute. And my prayer is that my children will be compelled to contribute. They see the cost, the big cost. There's a cost to it. So if people think, oh, you know, you think you're all that, or you're doing too much or whatever, there's a cost. There's a cost. But we have been prepared to pay the cost for our people. Because I love, from the minute I was, you know, I love my people, love them. I just love who God made us to be, and we have things that we offer and things we can do, and I'm excited. At the same time, I do love all people. I do. I love people, and I love God. And so you have to pour out your life in some way. If you love God, you love your neighbor, and if you love yourself, you've got to give. And I hope that when all is said and done at the end of my life, you know, that I would have poured out all. I mean, this life is not all there is. So that I can move on to the next phase of life, everlasting. I want to pour it all out. And my favorite spiritual has always been, if I can help somebody as I travel on, then my living will not be in vain. So I would love, and that's, when it comes to Hope Works, my divine appointment, which is coaching and consulting, new ministry, Denise Gillard Ministries, which is about Black Christian leadership development with no apologies, where Denise Gillard Ministries is intercultural coaching, consulting, but Denise Gillard Ministry is about raising up Black Christian leaders. I don't apologize. Then, I pastor Kingdom City Church. It's a lot, and the work's not all on me. My role is to be a leader of leaders, and that's what I've moved into over these years, even with Hope Works.
Yeah.
I started it, but to hand it over to a younger generation that will steward it well is my goal. So by the time I get to be an old lady and Tyreek remembers me and brings me some, I don't drink milk, so I don't know, lemonade, I like lemonade, says, Rev, that Tyreek would know what he's called to do, feel supported, and pour himself out for whatever it is that God has for him. Like, when you pour yourself out, you get filled again, that's life, you're living. And I also realized this morning, I was thinking about it, that there's a lot of suffering in this world, and then there's people who say that life is easy, and it's not. So I need to build people who can live through the hard times and really battle through the hard times, soldiers, right?